0864. Stations your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Ducks football.
Touchdown, Oregon. Byron Cardwell. That was quick.
We have to push ourselves to be the best that we want to be.
Pressured, steps up, goes down. Sack Brandon Dorless.
We think iron sharpens iron, right? You want to create that competitive environment. You have to do things that are hard.
Way down for Thornton. He's got it. He's going to score. What a stop by Oregon's Noah Sewell. Oh, what a throw. What a catch. Terrence Ferguson.
I'm excited about the energy that our coaches bring and the energy our players bring day in and day out.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Country Financial Insurance, protect what matters, and by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks! Drink Pepsi. Now let's go to the Country Financial Studios and talk Oregon Ducks football.
Here we go again. Here we go again. College football season for your Ducks is about ready to kick off, and I don't know how in the world our guest to our left, which would be your right if you're watching, gets through the next 2 or 3 days waiting for this game, because I'm amped up, geeked up, and I'm not even playing in this game. Head coach Dan Lanning is with us today. Our first coaches show brought to you by Toyota. Coach, thanks for coming in. You're
thanks
busy.
for
I know
having
you're
me.
busy. This is crazy.
Glad to be here.
And I just said that I'm just raring to go and anxious and can't wait. What's it like for you and your staff now, so close to the major opening of your head coaching career?
Yeah, just crossing T's and dotting I's, right? Trying to make sure we hit all the details, but certainly excited to get out there on the field.
Well, we're going to do it, huh?
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about this before we got going today, because one of the things that I always think about in broadcasting is if you still get butterflies and you still get nervous, that means you care. Do you feel that way still as a coach?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I still get nervous. I still get excited. I mean, that's excitement. I had a defensive coordinator in college named Chuck Litteris that used to say, a lion's nervous before he goes in for the kill. So
Sure.
I always feel like that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That's a good line.
Yeah, that is a good line.
I like that. We'll talk about that. Lots of questions. The season coming up, they'll be answered when you get on the field. And I guess that's one of the first things I'll ask you before we get our first break in here, and that is, how do you know what you've got until you actually face somebody else?
I was joking with a coach earlier today. I don't know that you do know until you go out there and just play. I think we have a lot of confidence in our players to go execute at the on the field, and I know that our guys will. That being said, you got to roll the ball out there, and the whistle's got to blow, and we got to see what happens.
I was thinking about this too, leading into a first game, and I feel like there's such a pomp and circumstance around every first game, but this one we certainly know has a lot more to it. There's a lot of storylines. I was curious for your thoughts on this, Coach, because you've been asked so many different questions over the course of the lead up to this season. Do you ever get tired of answering the questions about these sort of storyline games, or is this what it is kind of all about? It's fun to answer them.
No, yeah, I definitely get tired. I definitely get tired of it. Man, I enjoy coaching football and enjoy coaching our players, and that's the part I like. But it is what it is, right?
I got to ask then, who's going to be the starting? We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. You played a linebacker. You've coached on the defensive side. You've never really worked on the offensive side, have you? Always been the D side.
When I was my first coaching job, I was a wide receivers coach at Park Hill South High School.
Oh, all right.
We did a lot of blocking drills. So we played wide out with a defensive mentality. But no, I haven't been on that side of the ball a ton. Just that high school coaching career.
We get our first break, and I want to come back and find out, how you learned what you've learned, who your mentors were and who got you to this position. We'll talk about that when we come back. A lot more here you're going to tell us before you leave. Well, a lot more we're going to ask. You may not tell us.
There you go.
We're going to take the break. It's the Toyota Coaches Show, and we've got a lot more. Oh, we have a player, by the way.
That's right.
We give it away now or wait till later?
Give it away now. Bennett Williams will be here.
Bennett Williams is going to come in and join us. I'm looking forward to that. That's all I had on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
You're listening to the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studios. Jerry Allen and Joy Mack, and Coach's Show brought to you by Toyota and our head coach, 35th head coach in the history of University of Oregon football, Dan Lanning, with us again. And again, thanks for coming in, Coach. Just a very quick, I got to give you a chance to talk about your family, because most people are so focused on football, they don't get to realize that you have a wonderful fan base at home.
Yeah, I got the best fan base. I just talked to my wife a little bit ago. My youngest son, Titan's at football practice right now, so he's getting ready for his season. My two oldest boys, Caden and Niles, just got done doing a play here in town. Monty Python and the whole league.
I love it.
So that was a lot of fun. I think Caden was the Black Knight. I don't know if you remember. You know, it's not a flesh wound, or it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Come back, you coward. So he was that, and then Niles was Sir Not Appearing. And so, but they both had some fun roles in that play, and Titans getting ready for, like I said, football. So that's been a lot of fun, and Sophia's holding down the fort.
So when you and I talked on Duck Insider on Media Day earlier, I don't know if you remember this. I asked you if there was a question you wish we asked you more, and you said you wish you got asked about movies more often. That you used to be a movie guy.
I like movies.
So did you know this was coming from me? Because I'm about to ask you what are your top movies of all time here?
Top 5. I think it's pretty consistent. Last of the Mohicans. I think the soundtrack kind of helps make the movie. Road to Perdition. I kind of like mob movies.
All right.
The Departed would be up there.
Yeah.
7, which is kind of, a little dark, I know.
Yeah.
Gosh, what am I missing?
That was still pretty good, though, off the cuff, off the top of his head.
That's kind of my top group right there.
Yeah. That's a solid Mount Rushmore.
I like comedies, but if you listen to my my TV or movie list, you'd think I'm not a comedy. I enjoy comedies, but if you're talking about a quality movie, it's a different category.
Well, I was going to ask you that at the end of the interview because I know people want to hear about football, but you went into Monty Python, so here we go. Sorry, Jerry, I just derailed you.
That's okay. Well, as long as we went to movies before we get to football, food. All right.
I love food.
All right. Do you like to cook? Are you a cook?
I like to cook, so I'm kind of in charge of meals in the summer. Like when I'm able to be home and around, I make the omelets. I cook breakfast guy. I'm the grill guy.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm the steak guy on the grill, and I like a medium rare or rare steak, but when I'm on the grill, I enjoy being on the grill, so they always get overcooked.
Sure.
Sure. Nash, what's favorite food then? Favorite food?
Oh, it got to be steak. Yeah, steak potatoes
all right.
for sure. I'm a steak potato guy.
Yeah, we've covered all of the
most
hard-hitting
important
questions.
Yeah, really.
There you go.
That's what we
hard
do.
hitters.
Yes.
That's what we do when we're around. So, Coach, I was curious about the something you talked about with the media earlier today, and that was the transition from camp to game week. If you could just kind of take fans through your process, how do you go about doing that, transitioning from camp to game week?
Yeah, so we kind of work our way just as we move. There's kind of a checklist of things that we have to hit, for us as a program as we work through fall camp. And then as you get kind of the 2 weeks out before game one, I think a lot of teams, they start to prepare for the other opponent a little bit too early, and it becomes a little bit stale. So we do these periods we call teach periods, where we're really going to address issues that not necessarily will show up in game one, but might show up in game 6 or game 3, just things we've identified in the summer. Hey, this team runs a lot of this formation. They do this kind of tempo play. They get the ball to these guys, and we'll work those into teach periods about 2 weeks out. And then as you start to get within 10 days, 9 days, now you start to introduce a little bit of the concepts you'll see from an opponent. Anything you haven't seen. So we've kind of worked into those details. Now, really this past week's been situational game plan, right? What are you going to do on third down? What's your short yardage plan? What's your goal line plan? Coming out, red area, all those things.
You talk about a checklist for fall. When you got here in January, 8 months ago, did you kind of have in your mind a checklist of things that needed to occur and how you wanted them to as you get to this point?
Yeah, I feel like being around some, really good coaches in my time has kind of given me an idea of somewhat of an itinerary of what you kind of work through. And I've certainly pulled from that and taken from that and adjusted. It's not a blueprint that I brought, from Georgia or Alabama or Memphis or anywhere else I've been. It's kind of all of that, brought together with a few ideas of our own.
One of the things that I've noticed with you is whenever someone asks you in the media about things that you want to get better at, you're usually the first to look inward at yourself. Where does that come from? You're always kind of an inward-looking guy, I feel like, in that regard.
I mean, ultimately, if you're not learning, you're not getting better. And I think this kind of, always leads back to my parents both being teachers and being, starting off as an elementary PE teacher myself. I always just want to look, if I'm learning, that's fun for me. It's an opportunity to improve. And, we watched a video with our players the other day, about Steph Curry and kind of his process it becoming a phenomenal shooter. And I told our guys the other day, the only place that success shows up before work is in the dictionary, right? You got to work. And we talked about Steph Curry and how he has this routine that he follows. Obviously, he's turned himself into one of the greatest shooters of all time, and it's because of hard work. And I think if you can look at yourself and look for opportunities for growth and improvement, then you can get better.
You talked about being a teacher. Do you find that part of your life has helped you as a coach in that teaching?
Absolutely. I think coach is just another word for teacher, right? And every time we walk into that meeting room or that building, you got to have a lesson plan. What's your goal of the day? What's your objective? What are you trying to hit? And we try to do the same thing with our players.
Talking about fall camp and how it is sort of, I often describe the first day of fall camp as kind of like the first day of school. That's how that's how I feel, at least. And then I feel like maybe the first game is like your first exam,
Yeah.
What was fall camp like? I mean, just recap it for fans. Did you get what you wanted out of it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. It's hard work. Like you said, first day is like the first day of school. And then somewhere in the middle there, you start to see long faces, guys start to drag. It becomes it's a lot of work. It's tough. It's a labor, right? But it's so rewarding. And I think, fall camp, there's so many other benefits to spending an inordinate amount of time with each other, for large periods of time, for a long extended time, you become really close. And I think, we saw a lot of that with our team and certainly got a lot better at football.
Well, much more on our Coaches Show, our first one of the year, brought to you by Toyota. And by the way, our Coaches interview is brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. A lot more. We'll get more into the team and try to find out a little bit about this upcoming game with Georgia. Forgot there for a moment. On the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Ducks football lives here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studios. I was going to say Jerry, Jorgie, and Joy, but actually Jorgie's
already in Atlanta.
He's on assignment. Yeah, Jorgie, he left early today. Make sure that everything's okay for us when we get there.
I guess that's the advanced team for the
that's what you
broadcast
call
crew.
that.
You guys
No doubt
usually, like
about
for bowl games, right? There's always like an advanced team that goes.
We got our
to
squad down there in ATL, making sure the fort's ready for us.
That's right. So for, I guess, the broadcast crew, that's Jorgie. He's already there. He's probably listening and watching. Hi, Jorgie.
Yeah, well, we miss you. Sort of. Coach's Show interview brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. You're ready for this first game. I mean, is there any more? I mean, at this point, you've got to be ready. And so a lot of people have talked about what's Kirby Smart, it's Dan Lanning, it's really the players, and it's execution.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, we have a saying for our team, the hay's never in the barn until the ball's kicked. So we're certainly still preparing. We're looking for opportunities to improve and get better, but you know, we got to let our players go out there and play. And I said it the other day, I'm not playing. Kirby's not playing, right? I'd feel better about our chances if that was the case, you know. But no, I'm just kidding. I feel really good about our team. I feel great about our guys. They've prepared so hard. But I'm not playing this game. Kirby's not playing this game. These guys are going to go play in this game, and they are prepared and ready to go, and excited to see what they do.
You were talking earlier today about how this is also kind of a recovery time too, you know.
Yeah.
So what's your philosophy? What's your approach heading into game one on how you balance that you want to work really hard, but you don't want to overwork players? You know, how do you approach that?
Yeah, it's a fine line. You know, I really rely a lot on our sports science team here. You know, we actually just finished a little lift in the weight room a second ago, and we kind of check our power numbers there to kind of see where we're at and established. And talking to Coach Love, we actually have a really good base. We're back to some of our numbers that we were at before we even entered fall camp when it comes to power and explosion. So that's a huge positive, you know, for us to be able to map it out and kind of plan it. You lay it out in July and say, I hope this is kind of how it trends, and for us to hit some of those numbers right before, you know, game one is pretty exciting.
Leadership. I mean, we talk about athletes, skill positions, but one of the important aspects of a team, particularly football, is leadership. And that's something you can sort of teach or coach, but it almost has to come from what's inside a guy. You got leadership on this team this year?
Yeah, we got some great ones. You mentioned one of them earlier. You know, Bennett Williams is a guy that, you know, understands what it looks like and brings it every day. And, you know, I think the thing that's always unique about leaders is some teams have leaders that want to talk, but they don't necessarily want to be challenged. Our leaders want to be challenged. Our guys are looking to get better too, and that's the key to being successful.
You've talked before about how player-led teams are the most successful ones.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that's easy to say, hard to execute.
No doubt.
How do you foster that as a coach?
You just have to identify and put it out there. Our team talked last night about, hey, what are the things that can get in the way of us being successful? And every one of our guys can stand up and tell you, and then it's making the decision to put the team first. And that is not popular nowadays, right? That's not inherently, it doesn't happen on its own. It's a decision you have to make. So every morning we're all going to wake up and think about ourselves, and we're going to ask our players and our team to think about the team first, right?
As you head to Atlanta for this ball game, there are a lot of different aspects of this game that you could say are keys to a victory. I always say one of the biggest is turnovers, takeaways, mistakes in a ball game.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of studied some trends, right? And one of the trends in college football, week 1, is the number 1 week in turnovers, right? In all of college football, there's going to be more turnovers in college football in week 1 than any other week. One of the other categories, penalties. It's the number 1 week in penalties, in all of college football. And then the last one that we kind of focused on as a team is tackles, right? Teams miss more tackles, right, in week 1 than they will in week 12, week 6, throughout the season. So it's knocking the dust off, getting the rust off, and being able to go out there and play.
I think it's interesting talking about tackling. There's obviously been such a shift in the amount that you tackle in practice versus the amount that you don't. How do you balance that too? I'm kind of curious, just your approach so that you don't have those missed tackles.
I mean, you can practice tackling every single day without banging heads on top of each other. It's about eye discipline. It's about taking the proper angles. It's about tracking. It's not necessarily always about knocking a guy down to the ground. And I think our coaches do a great job of coaching that, and our players do a great job of executing it. But we incorporate tackling in every single day of practice, regardless if we're wearing full pads or not. We're training it somehow.
Yeah. One other aspect that I notice from year to year, different teams and how they handle it, and some don't, and that is communication. Is this team, are they good communicators?
Yeah, I think so. We again still have to see what that looks like on game day. It's a lot different when there's 60,000 fans yelling, right? Yeah. But do they communicate well? Absolutely.
I'm kind of wondering too about the setup, and it's the first time that this coaching staff is going to be working together. How'd you determine who's in the booth, who's on the field? How'd you go about that from a coaching perspective?
Well, we actually changed it up a couple times in scrimmages, and just really evaluated where coach is most comfortable and where can they give us the best opportunity to make our team successful. So assess it, and as the season goes, we'll continue to assess it.
As you get ready to jump on that airplane, the emotions, the excitement, and the focus. You got to be able to focus. If you get too excited, you can't. How do you, as the head coach, your first head coaching job at University of Oregon, going back to where you just came in, there's a lot going on here. How do you yourself and your team keep it in control?
Yeah, ultimately for me, I feel like preparation eliminates fear and anxiety, right? So continue to prepare. When you get into a moment, certainly your nerves are going to be excited. That's a positive, but continue to prepare. And when you get to that 2nd and 7 in the middle of the game and you're wondering how to handle the situation, you've already played it 10 times in your head. And we talk to our players all the time about how many times can we play the game before we play the game. I'm not playing this game on Saturday. We played it on Monday. We played it in meeting room on Tuesday, right? We played it in practice. I mean, so as many times as we can replicate the game for our coaches and our players, that's going to be, lead to success for us.
You've been asked probably, I'm going to estimate about 1 million times now about different position battles all over the field.
Yeah, closer to like 3,700 now.
Yeah, that sounds right, though. I mean,
yeah,
but I want to, I guess maybe I'll rephrase and say that it makes sense that you get asked that, but also it's maybe in some ways good that you get asked that because then there are position battles. You want competition. Yeah. You feel like you've had it this year?
Absolutely. And competition is what breeds, the best out of people. So we have great competition on our team. But again, if you're good enough, you're old enough. Yeah. It doesn't matter how old you are. Can you help our team? Your role might be smaller than you want. It might be really big. But the reality is if you can help our team be successful on game day, we want to use you. And I think people put – in my mind, if you start on special teams, you're a starter, right? If you help us on, the look team. Right. That we had some phenomenal looks this week that I think really give us a chance to have our hand up. So everybody's a part of our success. It's not one person. It's not one coach. That all kind of plays into it.
one area you looked at on paper, you see a lot of starters come back. Your offense has a lot of guys that played last year. The defense does too, but then the next, it's the depth. It's the 2s and the 3s. Were you able to develop that depth in this fall camp?
Yeah, our guys will tell you that we do a lot of parts of our practice we call 2-spot practices, where we're, instead of having 22 guys getting better, we got 44 guys getting better, right? Where we're working on 2 different fields, and we look for opportunities to do that a lot. I think we developed some good depth on our roster and have guys ready to play if their number's called.
We could ask you about every position group, about battles, about depth. One that we've all asked you about is the offensive line and just the depth and the experience that you have there. How valuable is that in this game in particular?
Yeah, great. I think there's I feel like we have a couple coaches up there that play on the offensive line for us, which is, fun. I trust what they bring to us, and they have some great experience, but maybe just as exciting as we have some really good young talent that I think can help us there and benefit us there. And it's not like they need to sit on the sidelines and watch those guys in front of them. I think they're going to be able to come in and help us in games.
We've kept you here for a long time. The guy coming up next, Bennett Williams. You got any good Bennett Williams stories, or should we we can wait till later in the year if you want to drop some down.
No, man. Hey, Bennett's got great hair. I think you can tell it's almost game weight. Looks like he just got lined up and got the fade. So, no, Bennett's been awesome. He's a great leader for us. He brings the juice every day. And like I said, we were talking about leaders that don't mind being coached. Bennett falls in that category. So fun for me.
Well, I can't thank you enough for taking a whole half hour out of your – I know you didn't have it to come in, but you did it. I appreciate that, and our fans do too.
Absolutely.
Coach Dan Lanning, first game coming up. Let's get to Bennett Williams in here in a moment. It is our Pepsi Coaches interview here in our Country Financial Studios. We got a lot of sponsors, but let's get a break, come back, and get you Bennett Williams on the Oregon Sport Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
Once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. With remarkable checking, My OCCU mobile banking, and nationwide ATM access. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans. And lots of fellow Duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/remarkable.
Now's the time to visit your local Toyota dealer and find yourself in a stylish and fuel-saving RAV4, Corolla, or Camry. Or climb behind the wheel of the rugged Tundra, Tacoma, and more. Toyota's national sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places.
You're listening to the Oregon Football Coaches Show. Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Unused prescription opioid pain medicines can spell trouble. They can spell risk if taken by someone they weren't prescribed for, harm if accidentally taken by a child or pet, or overdose if they're not used as directed. Safely dispose of opioids before they can hurt your family. Find a drug take-back option such as medicine drop boxes. You may find these in your community at local pharmacies or police stations. Visit www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Welcome back inside our Country Financial Studios. I'm Jerry Allen, along with Joey Mack and Bennett Williams. He's been in here. I feel like we're old buddies, old friends. It's great to have you in here. Were you down in the Rogue Valley playing golf? I was down there too this summer. Did you make it?
Yeah, I was down there a few months ago. I think.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Didn't shoot too well.
I was going to ask you what you shoot.
Yeah, no, golf is not my best game, but I'm trying to get better. Right?
That's okay. You're great at football. That's all we need. 6 feet, 205 pounds. I see that in the program. I always want to know, are those numbers accurate? Are they pretty much?
I like to say 6 foot and 3/4.
Okay.
Officially.
Yeah.
bump it up to 6'1".
Does the hair help?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
That's why I haven't cut in a while. I'm keeping the top long just for that extra inch.
Gotta love that. Your career started in Illinois. First true freshman to start at safety in Illinois since 1980. That tells me what kind of an athlete you were coming out of high school. But, this has been a tough career for you. In your third year with the Ducks, injury, you had to go through the pandemic year, some coaching changes. How has that changed who Bennett Williams is? I mean, are you a different man today than you were 3 years ago?
Yes, definitely. I feel like it's been a lot of adversity, right? A lot of ups and a lot of downs. But it really is the journey that shapes you. And I think, going through a lot of adversity has allowed me to, look inside myself and do a lot of introspecting, right? And I think that through that I was able to figure out what my purpose is, what I want to do, what's good and what's not so good.
Sure.
And so, yes, I would definitely say I've changed a lot, and I'm, looking to continue to change and continue to grow.
Yeah.
If you could give yourself at the age of 17 one piece of advice now, what would you tell 17-year-old you?
All right, you're going to put me on the spot like that. Wow. I'd have to just say keep pushing. Like don't give up, because there's gonna be a lot of unforeseen challenges.
Sure.
Always. And sometimes, especially looking at myself and knowing myself, I would overreact to a lot of them, and it felt like it's the whole world. And just a little bit of perspective, a little bit of collecting yourself, I think all goes a long way and helps you make decisions rather than making rash decisions. Thinking about it a little bit and making the right decision ultimately.
Sure.
We talked, Coach, about leadership, and he talked about you and how important that is, and you are. But and with what you've gone through, you went through something this year, a tragedy that hit this football team, and that's when the leadership comes in, and that had to be a period of time for you and your teammates when Spencer went down, that you had to come together, and that leadership was probably very critical. How did you handle that?
Yeah. This year has definitely been a time for me to embrace leadership. And I think at that moment it was really a turning point. Personally for me, going through that grieving process, I think I had to do a lot of, like I said earlier, introspection, right? And looking at things a little differently. It kind of shakes you a little bit. And then so at that point, I specifically remember, being a better leader and better teammate was the number one thing that I felt I had to change for myself, but also to take this team if we really want to go where we want to go.
Interesting.
And so that would definitely be the number one thing coming out of that. And I think, Spencer would have wanted that.
Yeah, no doubt.
We were going to show these on the stream for those of you that are watching, but if you haven't gotten a chance to see, you did a photo shoot. And I have multiple questions here. One, you're wearing the number 4. You and I talked about this a little bit on Duck Insider a few weeks ago and just how special that's going to mean for you this season.
Yeah.
I want to start there, and then I promise I have a fun question for you after
all
that.
right.
That's a pretty special thing.
Yeah, wearing number 4 is so cool. Obviously, that's been my number since childhood. I've always loved that number. And, shortly before Spencer passed, we both found out we were going to be wearing it together, right? And so that was something that we bonded over, I think, a little bit. And, it feels like to me I get to help carry his legacy, and he's there with me on the field at all times.
You talked about that a lot on the Mighty Oregon podcast with Rob, so people who haven't gotten a chance to hear it, encourage you to do that. Long-form story, great job. Now I have to ask you, I'm going to go fun question for you. When you do a photo shoot, okay, now, you guys do a lot of these now in your career. So what's your approach to a photo shoot? How do you walk in and be like, okay, it's photo shoot time?
Oh, it's like game mode. Like there's a whole you got to get prepped for it. You got to get ready. Really, you got to put yourself into a mindset, because it's you got to give all the affect. I need, all of it. Otherwise, you come around, you're excited for your pictures to come out, and then they, like, why am I not smiling the whole time? Why do I look like this?
Yeah.
And you really got to get worked up, and it helps to get worked up too, because then you get a little sweat on your face, and now you're looking even better in those photo shoots. So I think that's the key right there.
There's strategy to it.
The last thing you want to do though is get injured in a photo shoot.
Yeah. So yes,
true.
there's you got to pull it, rein it back a little bit. I think you say that comes to mind like Justin Flo. He's out there doing all his stuff, and I'm like, okay. Let's make sure he's still,
Do you have to calm him down? I mean, honestly, do you have to calm him down sometimes?
Oh yeah, but it's awesome, and I love that. I love having him on our team. We'll put it that way. I love that he's on our team.
It was pretty fun. I think this was Jerry, the second scrimmage, and we were up in the booth, right? We were watching from the broadcast location. Well, the defensive coach's booth is right next to the radio booth, and some of the things that the coaches upstairs, they would be like, look at Flo down here. Look at this energy. Like, they love it, and that's kind of what your guys' defense is, it feels like a little bit.
Yeah, and I've said it before, he's kind of like our spirit animal in the way that he just brings energy, and it's nonstop. And you kind of marvel at it like, wow, is he a real human? Like, is he? But we love it. And he, sometimes if it's an off day or bad day, he's going, right? Yeah. And that helps us all, picks us all up, and we love that energy.
It's kind of a superhero image when I see her thinking of the way he plays.
Yeah.
Talked about coaches and the coaching change. We probably should take a break. Let's do that. When we get a break, let's hold on for a moment. We'll come back and talk about what it's been like. And the energy I'm seeing on the field from the coaching staff is just different. There's something about it. We'll talk about that. He is Bennett Williams. I am Jerry Allen. He is Joey Mack, and we're going to come back and talk more with Bennett after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 16 convenient locations across Oregon and Southwest Washington. Contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
You're listening to the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. With honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be shared with friends or family. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Welcome back. It's our coaches show, our inaugural coaches show of the 2022 season, opening with Georgia. What an opening. Game number 1 coming up. Bennett Williams is with us here in our Country Financial Studios, the Toyota Coaches Show, and we're going to jump right back into it and ask you a coach's question. That is, another coaching staff change this year. Is that difficult on players? I guess that would be the first question. How hard is that to go through coaching changes?
Yeah, it's tough. Definitely at the start, right, when there's a lot of turnover, you don't really know who is getting hired, what the staff is going to look like. But that's something I think that I'm so grateful for, like that experience, because our team did this. We really got closer over that, right? We had to stick together because it's like either this thing's going to explode and guys are going to transfer everywhere, get out of here, right? Because it seems like it's falling apart, or we can keep these key guys, the leaders, together, and everybody will follow. And now, this team which is already really talented, we can develop and become stronger and more connected.
Boy, I think fans love to hear
that. No, totally, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that it's so easy for us to get lost in the day-to-day, right? Because it's Georgia week. It's getting ready for the first game. That wasn't that long ago, what you're talking about, right?
Feels like a long time ago, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't,
Yeah,
I mean,
really
that's really an amazing thing. All right, so talking about Georgia, what does Bennett Williams do on a 5-hour flight across the country? What's on the agenda tomorrow?
All right. Well, tonight I'm gonna have to download some movies. If you guys got any suggestions, shoot those to me because I need a new show.
I'll watch the comments for you.
Okay, good. Yeah, shout them out if they got one. Man, you got to get – I think they're going to have some pillows and blankets ready for us. I think you got to squeeze a nap in there. 3 water bottle minimum. Yeah, we're
hydration.
Yeah, we need that. So a couple of bathroom breaks are going to be in there as well. Yeah, probably a lot of watching some movies or TV shows.
So it's a little bit of sort of a decompression time.
Oh yeah,
it sounds like.
And then guys are always going to be talking and having fun. Might be some card games on there. I guess I was going to say on all the bus rides we play this game called Stumble Guys on our phones, and we can all play together, right? And it's 32 people that can be in the game, so it's almost the whole bus will be doing it. But I guess on the plane we won't be able to do that unless they got Wi-Fi. Then we can try and get
You're asking the good questions.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to guess they do for you. I'm hoping they do. I mentioned going into the break the energy that the coaching staff appears to have in practice. I mean, it's just infectious. It's just Coach Lanning. This seems like the real deal. What's that like for you guys as a team and individually to be coached by Dan Lanning and his staff?
Coach Lanning's awesome. And that energy is not just on the field, right? That's every day.
Really?
First thing in the morning, he's bringing it. Even on the the off days and the slow days where it feels like we're tired or whatever in the morning, he's gonna bring that energy. And I love his positivity and his attitude, in chasing greatness and just the growth aspect. Everything he does is about let's get better. Let's figure out the way to get an advantage to really, to get better and to grow. And that's individually and as a team.
Have you ever had a coach who's carrying around a wireless microphone in his pocket at practice?
That's a new one. That is a new one for me.
I love it. I think it's great.
I love it too. And you could definitely hear him wherever you are in the field, right? And he has, but that's perfect because he's coaching up everybody.
Right.
And so now, he coaches up one person. He's doing it on the microphone. You might feel like you're getting put on blast, but now, 10 more guys in that position room can hear what he's telling him, right? So they can make that correction as well. So I think that's big.
So is that you tighten up as soon as you hear your name?
Oh,
over
I've had it a few times. Bennett. Everybody's screaming, Bennett, go. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Craziest in a good way teammate. I mean, who's the zaniest?
I think you'd get 99% of the team saying Justin Flo.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we all knew that one. He's great though. We love him. Another name I'd say is Ben Roberts. He just came on. He's young gun, but he is funny, that man, and he just brings that positivity.
Yeah. Okay, so you're a DB, so you got to cover those guys going out trying to catch balls or block you. Who's the guy that is toughest for you to work against? I don't want to say you don't want to work against because you're so good, because you're taking it as a challenge. Who would that be?
Yeah. Man, the guys I go against every day, which is Chris Hudson and Seven McGee. Those guys are just so shifty, fast, have great hands, and they challenge me every single day. The way they run their routes, just to precision. Another guy I would say is Terrence Ferguson, who's a tight end but runs routes like a receiver. deceptively quick, and has some really, really good hands. I'd say the best hands on the team since, the late Spencer, really. So those three guys come to mind.
I like it.
Every fan wants to know what the offense is going to look like. You've gone against them an awful lot.
Yeah.
What's the offense going to look like? What are fans going to see this year?
Yeah, let me break down their whole playbook.
Yeah, that's right.
No, this is going to be an explosive offense. Really, I really like what Coach Kenny Dillingham is doing. The quarterbacks back there are slinging it, making really good decisions. I'm going through every position. Like our running backs, we have just a stable of running backs that will probably, a lot of them will play, right? O-line is experienced and really, really – I'm excited to see what they can do. It's not going to be stagnant, I can promise you.
Yeah. That's good to hear.
Yes.
You've hit your own guys for a month now, including the spring. It's even more than that. It's time to hit somebody else, isn't it? You were looking forward to this game.
Cannot wait. And I speak for everybody on the team that we cannot wait to hit somebody else. And it's hard, when you're going day after day and you still got to bring that same intensity. And you don't want to hurt your guys, right? But you got to bring it to get them better at the same time. So we can't wait to unleash all that rage and pent up whatever it is.
Energy, let's call it that.
On the other team.
It's the build-up, right? You guys are about to crack open the bottle where it goes, psh,
yeah.
Right? That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
So I want you to know that you got a bunch of recommendations in the various comment sections. So well done, Duck fans.
Thank you, guys.
I'll give them to you all during the break.
All right.
One fan, though, wanted us to ask you about Tosh Lupoy. We haven't asked you about your defensive coordinator. Tell us about him.
Oh, he's a character in the best way. Like he's so smart. Brings so much energy. Like you thought Coach Lanning brought a lot of energy. He is bringing it every day. And just a genius. I think he's doing a really good job of like to be honest, I think he's doing a really good job of like evaluating himself every day and understanding, okay, what's going to work? What do we need to, throw away? What's going to work for the personnel and the players that we have, rather than, thinking that his defense or whatever it is going to be the one and being rigid in that. I think he does a really good job of that, and being fluid and being able to adjust.
He makes me feel old because I was doing games on the radio for Oregon when they played Cal, and he played for Cal.
That's
right.
Yeah,
he played for Cal. Yeah, I remember him. I didn't like him at all.
Oh yeah,
no.
Okay.
I love him now, but I didn't like
he's
him
the
then.
best.
Yeah.
I got you,
Bennett. Have fun. Just enjoy your life. Sounds like you are. You've matured so much. It's fun talking with you because you could be a broadcaster one day. You could be sitting there with me instead of him.
I told you that.
Yeah,
I know. I need some training.
No,
I'm like, this is training, I guess, right now.
That's right.
It might be
you're very good at it.
It might be the next job.
So on that note, I had one last question for you. So you're the first student athlete on the Coaches Show this season. We're going to do this every Wednesday. Student athlete coming on.
Okay.
What should we make sure we ask student athletes when they come on the show?
Oh.
Like, what do you wish we asked you tonight?
I feel like you got it. Well, no, I wish you didn't ask me this, but I think you got to give everybody else an embarrassing question, like something.
That's fair.
Right?
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
that's fair.
I'm like, don't ask me right now because I couldn't answer it. But I think that's to get somebody, get them out of their comfort zone a little bit.
All right, I can do that.
Yeah, I've done
that a few times.
He's already working on something.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Bennett Williams, I never say good luck. I always say play well and have fun. Just do that. We'll be there with you. We're going to jump on a plane tomorrow. I'll probably follow you guys out there. So just have fun.
I will.
Have fun.
I definitely will.
Go Ducks.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Bennett.
Appreciate you guys.
Bennett Williams, all 6 foot. 3/4 of an inch
of
him here on the show. We're going to come back and break it down and head out of here. We jump on the plane tomorrow, too, so we'll say goodbye when we come back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads. It's our safety. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
I've been driving trucks for a long time, and safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
Alcoholism is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope at Al-Anon Family Groups.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. Call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studios. Jerry Allen and Joey Mack and our coaches show. First one out of the way, almost brought to you by Toyota. This is fun. It's
like the first day of school.
No, it really is.
When I forget who said that to me for the first time. It was first day of fall camp. It's like, it's like the first day of school. And then, Rob Mullins said on Tuesday when he was on Duck Insider, he said, so what, first game is like your first exam. I feel like the first coaches show and like the preseason special, that's like our first quiz.
Yeah.
We had to get ready for this. We had to study. Kind of.
Oh, I studied a lot.
Did you?
Yeah,
I did too.
But I did it while I was eating, so it's not like it's a real study job.
We got movies and food on the first coaches show with Dan Lanning.
Oh, that's right. How do you follow that up?
I don't know. Dessert?
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do
How
that.
many ice cream bars are you eating on the plane tomorrow?
I asked about that. I already. We don't have any ice cream bars on our flight.
I want everybody to know that.
I know. So I'm going to bring my own now.
Yep.
I'll have to eat them all before we take off. So otherwise they'll melt.
Could be done.
But, hey, we're going to Atlanta, Georgia.
You ever been to Atlanta before?
Flown through Hartsfield a couple of times, just connecting flights.
That's me, too. I've only ever been in the airport. And I say that doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't count. But I can't not wait for Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah.
That roof opens and closes like the shutter of a camera in 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
8 minutes, yeah. So I don't know what it's going to be, open or closed, or whether they'll do it. Think it'll be closed? Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's an advantage to having it open. I know that because when we went down to Texas, we were told it would be closed, and just before the kickoff, they opened it, and the coach at the time wasn't real happy about that.
Can imagine.
Yeah. So all right. 10:30 pregame show, 12:30 kickoff. You ready?
I am ready. I think the Ducks are ready, too. I think that there's been a lot of build-up. There's certainly a lot of pomp and circumstance. There have been some folks around here, myself included, that have said this kind of feels like a bowl game a little bit.
Look at the sticker for those of you watching.
And when you go play in these games, I think that the experience of playing in a big-time kickoff game like this that's run by folks that run a bowl game, I think that a bowl game experience is so hard to replicate, and it gets student athletes, coaches, us, it gets you ready for the big stage.
Yeah.
And I think that it's fun to play in these games. And, what an opportunity, right? That's what everybody's been saying. What an opportunity to go and play in Georgia's backyard. Athens is, 70 miles away from Atlanta? We know that there's going to be a lot of red in the stands, but I also think that this is an opportunity for Duck fans that live all over the country on the East Coast. There's not a lot of opportunities to come to a game.
No.
And so it's a little bit of a, I think, cool opportunity for them because the Ducks are playing in this game. It's like when they went to Virginia. When we went to Virginia, went to Tennessee.
I think
good crowds.
Coaching staff's going to be surprised how much green is in the stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean,
God, the uniforms are good.
They're looking great. Just looking sharp. So 10:30 pregame show, 12:30 kickoff. Georgie is already back there getting ready for us, and we're headed back.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow with the team.
What?
Excited.
I'm nervous. I mean, I was going to mention something, and I got so it was related to food, and I can't remember what it was now. But
well, you're fine.
Yeah, all right.
You'll get there by 10:30 for the pregame show. Yeah.
Terry Johns joins us. He's got the first, 2 hours of the pregame show. We got a lot to cover.
Who's on the pregame show? DJ Johnson. Chase Cota. Tosh Lupoy.
All right. We'll talk on that pregame show about suggested starters. We don't really know that yet. No words out, but we'll know by pregame, and we'll let you know. Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye. God bless.
This has been the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Tonight's show has also been brought to you by Country Financial Insurance. Protect what matters. And by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.